At exactly 7:42 p.m., she sent a message that no one saw until it was too late. "He's acting weird. If anything happens, tell the police it was him." The text sat unread for over 18 hours. By then, she wasn't answering her phone. She wasn't at work. Her car was still in the driveway. Her purse, untouched. She was missing. What unfolded next would lead to a search party, 2 arrests, a courtroom packed with silence, and a family permanently changed by the decisions of a single man. Her name was Camille. She was 34 years old, a mother of 2, recently divorced, a social worker. She helped people for a living, and she believed in second chances. She wasn't careless. She didn't rush things. She took 6 months to go on a date after her divorce. But when she met Aaron through a mutual friend, it felt different. He listened. He didn't talk over her. He asked questions. He showed up on time. He knew how to cook, and more importantly, how to calm her nerves. He made her feel seen again. That mattered. It mattered more than her doubts. It mattered more than the little things she noticed but didn't want to ruin. Like the way he checked her phone while she was in the shower. The way he didn't want her going out with her friends. Or how he told her, "If I ever lost you, I'd lose my mind." She told her sister he was intense, but that he'd been through trauma. She understood. She worked with trauma every day. She thought she could manage it. For weeks after they met, he had a key to her apartment. 5 weeks in, she didn't come into work. That had never happened in 7 years. Her sister called the police. Her phone rang once and went to voicemail. Her coworkers drove by her apartment. No one answered the door. The curtains were closed. At 4:37 p.m., a neighbor told police he heard screaming the night before. A man's voice. A woman crying. Something heavy dragging across the floor. By 6:10 p.m., officers forced entry into her unit. Her phone was on the bed. Her keys on the table. Her shoes by the door. No Camille, but on the kitchen counter an empty wine glass, with a faint smudge of lipstick. And next to it, a printed photo torn in half. Her face still visible. The other side missing. It took 3 more days to find her. A hiker stumbled upon a makeshift grave under an old pine tree. The body was wrapped in a blanket from her bedroom. Police confirmed her identity by the bracelet still on her wrist, one her children had made her the year before. Asterisk. Aaron said he hadn't seen her, that they'd had a fight, but she told him to leave. He said she blocked his number, that maybe she needed space. But detectives noticed inconsistencies. He called her 5 times the next day, but his phone location never left the city. Even though his job said he called in sick and took a mental health day. And then they found the shovel, bought on his debit card, picked up the same day she disappeared. Asterisk. This is not just a story about a crime. It's about trust, control, and what we fail to see when we want so badly to believe someone is safe. In this episode of Crime Chronicles, we investigate the case of Camille Rivers, a woman who tried to rebuild her life, and the man who made sure she never got the chance. Asterisk. There was a voicemail. It had been deleted. Not by her. It sat buried in a cloud backup, unmarked, until investigators pulled her phone records weeks later. 36 seconds long. No words for the first 10. Just the sound of her breathing. Fast. Uneven. And then, a whisper. One word. Help. Faint. Almost inaudible. It was recorded at 2:14 a.m., just 2 minutes after Camille's smartwatch showed a sudden spike in heart rate. Police missed it the first time. The night shift tech almost skipped over it. But that single voicemail would shift the focus of the investigation, reframe the timeline, and expose something they hadn't considered. That Camille might have tried to escape. And someone made sure she never would. There were other signs too. Little ones. Her Google search history in the days before. Can you report emotional abuse without proof? How to know if someone is watching your phone. Exit plans for domestic violence. She never sent those links to anyone. She never made a call to a hotline. But they were there. And in her notes app, one unfinished draft that simply read, "I'm scared to leave because I think he'll hurt me. But I'm more scared to stay." Asterisk. Sometimes the evidence isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It whispers. And unless you're listening closely, you'll never hear what it's trying to say. Asterisk. Camille Rivers was the kind of person people remember, not because she tried to stand out, but because she listened. A quiet warmth. 33. Schoolteacher. Loved lavender tea and true crime podcasts. After a difficult divorce, she moved into a small one-bedroom apartment just outside Spokane, Washington. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers. A new job, a new zip code, and one night, at 11:08 p.m., she downloaded a dating app. Just to look, she told her sister. Nothing serious. She matched with him on a Tuesday. By Friday, they were messaging constantly. He called her Sunshine. He said he liked how she used too many exclamation points. They met in person 2 weeks later. She wore a navy coat. He brought flowers. She texted her friend after the date. He's different. I feel like I can breathe around him. Friday, November 12th. It was cold, even for Spokane. Camille left her workplace at 4:58 p.m. Security cameras captured her stepping into the parking lot, umbrella in hand. She never made it home. Aaron told police they'd argued that evening. He said she left in anger, wouldn't return his texts. By morning, her sister had reported her missing. Camille had never ignored a call for more than 2 hours. This time, it had been 12. Her car was found the next day, parked just off a county road. The doors were locked. The battery had died. Her purse was still inside. The keys were missing. Police found faint smudges on the steering wheel. No fingerprints, no blood, just silence. January 14th, 7:42 a.m. Aaron Caldwell was arrested at his workplace, a quiet plumbing supply warehouse in North Spokane. He didn't resist. He didn't speak. Just like the weeks that followed Camille's disappearance, he said nothing. But in court, the silence broke wide open. Prosecutors revealed a pattern. Not one relationship, but 3. 2009. A girlfriend hospitalized with a concussion. No charges filed. 2010. A restraining order, then withdrawal. 2011. Emotional abuse allegations dismissed without testimony. And now Camille. A forensic expert testified about DNA under her nails, consistent with a violent defensive struggle. Cell tower records showed her phone in the woods for 2 hours, before being powered down near Aaron's apartment. The voicemail, the one she thought no one would ever hear, was played to a silent courtroom. Her mother had to leave the room. Then came the statement from her sister, standing before the jury, holding a photo of Camille at age 9. Her voice cracked only once. She trusted him, and he buried her. The verdict came after 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Asterisk. You are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Justice is a word we often say quickly, but for families like Camille's, it moves slowly. A courtroom verdict may bring legal closure, but does it ever bring peace? Her case isn't unique. In fact, every year, thousands of women are reported missing after getting involved with someone they once trusted. So we ask you, do you believe justice was truly served in this case? What signs, if any, do you think were missed early on? How do we protect those we love from the hidden dangers of emotional control? What would you have done if this happened in your community or to someone you know? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, could this happen to anyone? Tell us in the comments. Your perspective helps bring these silent stories to light. Some stories end in silence. Others echo. Camille's name may not appear in history books, but in her silence there were warnings. In her hope there were lessons. And in her memory there is power. If this story moved you, if it made you pause, reflect, or feel something, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more stories that matter. Stories about real people, real lives, real consequences. Every case we share brings a voice to those who can no longer speak. We upload daily because these aren't just crimes. They're lives interrupted, families broken, questions left behind, and the truth still matters. You never know when one story might save someone else, maybe even someone you know. So stay aware, stay informed, and above all, trust your gut. It might save your life.